Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm writing to Crazy Hindu Multiverse Theory explained by a monk, Swami Mukundananda. So this was a request. I do request. If you have a request, please type in the title, the channel name, and how long the video is so I can search for it. If you put the link, it might get held for review. So anyways, multiverse theory. I've thought about this in terms of time traveling with movies and end up believing multiverse more so because of how time travel works. But anyway, let's get started. Let's see what happens.
It's not everyone's cup of tea to consume an entire podcast. That's why, welcome to The Ranveer Show's highlights channel, DRS Clips. Subscribe and hit that bell icon. Something I've been studying a lot lately is astrophysics, which is, the physics of the universe, black holes, the stars. And the deeper you get into astrophysics, you realize that the universe is massive. It's just incredibly large. You don't even understand how large it is. I mean, you think it's large, just read a little bit of astrophysics and your mind will be blown away by, how much more mega it is than you believe it is. Since you've read the Bhagavad Gita, since you've studied it, since you've read all these holy scriptures, does any of the holy scriptures actually talk about the universe as in, outer space, what's out there?
Oh yeah, extremely in great detail. So it's so fascinating, Ranveer. The Western world, about 700 years ago, only knew that the earth is flat. And they believed that the earth is the center of the universe. That was the geocentric theory. Then it moved to the heliocentric theory that the sun is the center. And the scriptures in our traditions, the name they have for geography is Bhugol. The earth is round. They knew it all the while. And they have explained in so much of detail that there are 5 mandals, 3 trilokis, 7 lokas. So the first is the Chandra Mandal, whose lok is Chandralok. It is rotating around a mandal called the Bhumandal, whose lok is Bhulok, the earth planet. But this Bhumandal is also not fixed. It's rotating around the Surya Mandal, whose lok is Swarlok. And the Antariksh, the space in between, is Bhuva. So this Bhu, Bhuva, Swa creates one triloki. But the Surya Mandal is also not fixed. Now this I'm telling you from these scriptures, what they have described 5,000 years ago. That this Surya Mandal is rotating around Parameshthi Mandal. And the Loka, the planet there is Janalok. And the Parameshthi Mandal is rotating around another Mandal, Swayambhu Mandal, whose Loka is Brahmalok. So all this, now science tells us that like the sun, in the Milky Way, there are 100 billion suns. And like the Milky Way, there are 100 billion galaxies.
What he was talking about a little bit earlier, I have no clue what he's talking about, but I think he's talking about how the Earth spins on its axis, the Earth also spins around the sun, the sun and our galaxy also spins around each other, and then how our galaxies probably spin around other galaxies or in the universe itself, I'm assuming.
Which means that there are 10 to the power 22 suns approximately in this entire universe. However, now science is talking about the multiverse theory, right? That there are other universes as well. And the Vedas say, you know what? How many universes are there? All of this that you are perceiving is one universe. Like this, there are infinite universes. And each with one Shankar, one Brahma, one Vishnu.
Okay, Brahma, Vishnu.
Can I tell you a little story?
Sure, sir.
It is said that once Brahma went to meet Lord Krishna in Dwarka. And he asked the gatekeeper, tell Sri Krishna Brahma has come to meet him. So Sri Krishna asked the gatekeeper, tell him which Brahma is he. He asked, Brahmaji was astonished, is there any Brahma apart from me? So he tell him, the 4-headed Brahma, the father of the 4 Kumars. The gatekeeper said, Sri Krishna called him in. So Brahmaji on coming, he said, Bhagwan, what was the meaning of your question, which Brahma? Is there any Brahma apart from me? So Lord Krishna smiled. By his Yoga Maya, he called the Brahmas of innumerable universes, and they were all coming and offering their pranams. And our Brahmaji saw that there is one Brahma who's got 1,000 heads. So our Chaturmukhi Brahma said, how big will be his universe? And then there was one Brahma who had 1,00,000 heads, and one Brahma who had 1 crore heads, and one Brahma who had 1 Arab, 1 billion heads. So dekhi Chaturmukhi Brahma hailo chamatkar, Krishner charane asi karilo namaskar. Our Brahmaji fell at the feet of Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna said, Brahmaji, there are infinite universes. Yours is the smallest. That is the extent of God's creation. And all of this is 1/4 of creation.
I wonder if there's also infinite number of Shivas and Krishna.
This is the material realm. And beyond this is 3/4, which is the spiritual realm, where this Maya, this Kal, this Karm cannot go. So that is when we say God is great, that's how great He is.
What's out there in the 3/4?
It's indescribable, because our words can only compare with the glories of what we see here. Right? Now let us say that we wish to give a comparison. We will give it with material things. And that is made by a different energy. So this material realm is made by an energy called Maya, the material energy. And we see so much
Interesting way to describe Maya, actually, as material energy.
of glory in every aspect of material creation, from the tiniest Higgs boson to the biggest galaxies.
To Cristiano Ronaldo.
Sure. Absolutely. If there's glory manifesting in everyone, to Sachin Tendulkar. So now, all of this is glorious. Imagine the glory of Yoga Maya. When the computer revolution started, one college boy came up to me and said, Swamiji, what computer does God use to keep an account of our karmas? So I said, computer is made by the material energy, and God has a superior energy called Yoga Maya, by virtue of which He knows everything that we thought of from the time we were born till today. Not of one lifetime, but our infinite lifetimes. And not one soul, but infinite souls of creation. So how does God manage to do all that? By His Yoga Maya. By that Yoga Maya, He creates His divine abode.
So this is the first I'm hearing of Yoga Maya. Yoga usually being that of a path, like bhakti yoga and jnana yoga, karma yoga, Yoga Maya. So now the definition of yoga, along with Maya being an illusion, at least from what Swami Sarvapriyananda says, Maya is delusion. How I see Maya as a misunderstanding, but Yoga Maya. So I wonder if he defines that.
So let it suffice to say that it is Sat, Chit and Anand. It is eternal, full of bliss. Now can you imagine objects made of bliss? And sentient consciousness. So that abode is Satchid Anand, full of divine bliss. It's for the perfected souls. That means when we reach that perfection, we will then be there.
Can you become imperfect when you go there if you fail a test there?
Once we are situated in knowledge, then the ignorance will not overcome us again. Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Sadaha Pashyanti Suraya. It's the soul is on a journey. So in the journey, we are slowly growing, and we're taking a few steps ahead, maybe a few steps back, and then again a few steps ahead. But once we reach that perfection, it means that now we are situated in knowledge. So when you have divine bliss, then why should you choose something far inferior?
Yeah.
Okay. I am crazy Hindu multiverse theory. I don't know if I heard a theory. I must have missed it. But nonetheless, infinite universe, that's very much a possibility. Let me go ahead and explain what I thought about, because about why I believe in multiverse. And it's all based on time traveling, based on Terminator 2, and then all the other time traveling movies. It's because I don't know how in the world I got from time traveling to multiverse. But anyways, so I guess let's grab something as an example here. So this is a timeline, the past, going to the present. Anytime that you go out from the present to the past, you are a couple of theories for me. If you go out from the present to the past and nothing breaks, the timeline is like a movie. Everything that needs to happen has already happened. So you going to the past doesn't break the timeline. You are supposed to go to the past, and everything that you've done in the past has already been preset for the future. So it doesn't break the timeline. I hope that makes sense. 2, when you go from the present to the past, you destroy the future. And whatever you do at this point in time creates a new future. The future that you were part of is no longer there. It is gone, because the thing that whatever you went to the past to do has now completely changed what the future is. So there's still only a single timeline, but when you go back to the past, you destroy everything in the future, in a sense, because everything that you touch and you do, the people that you interact with, even just a little bit of change that they do changes the entirety of their persons in the future. So when you go back to the past, you destroy the future and you create a new one. Or the multiverse, where again you're in the present and you go back to the past, but when you go to the past, it breaks off another timeline. So now we have 2 timelines. I don't know if you can. 2 timelines. So the original timeline will continue forward without you ever in it, and then a new timeline where you go back in the past, you'll create there'll be a brand new branching off timeline. We could say it's like that. So you go back to the past, and there's this new timeline that was created. There could be 2 U's in there. It's kind of like what Endgame was talking about in terms of timelines, where they can't go back into their own timeline, but they can go to a different timeline. It's really weird. It's confusing, I'm sure. But that's the reason why I believe in the multiverse, is because it makes sense. There are multiple, like every possible outcome that you can do has happened. It's just a matter of which timeline you're in. So there are probably billions of timelines where I've died. And billions of timelines where I've became a rich billionaire or whatever. And then there's the reality where I'm here, at least as far as my reality is concerned. And I'm sure there's a reality out there where I become the owner. I'm the CEO of Tesla. So again, and I do believe there could. Again, it's merely a belief. I don't know if it's true or not. There's just no way to really tell. What we can say that we know this reality exists, and that's about it. And even then, there's a lot of people theorizing that this could be a fake reality. So you know what? Do the best we can with what we got and what we know, and continue to learn and whatever else. But yeah, infinite number of timelines. I do think so on that one. I do potentially be like, so again, even with the multiverse theory, the two, this could be our time. This run right here is our timeline, the life that we are living now. This one is a different timeline where literally everything between these two timelines could be exactly the same, except that maybe I ate a different fruit in this one on one particular minute. Other than that, everything else the same. Instead of eating, I ate a banana in this one, I ate an apple in this one. And that's the only differences between these two timelines. Only difference. Everything else plays out the same, but still two different timelines because of the possibilities. Every single possibility has occurred, even if it's just one minute little change where instead of taking that step at 9:28 and 0 seconds, I took that step at 9:28 at 0.1 second. 1 second difference. Only difference between the two different universes. I think I believe in that a lot more than some other timelines. Even though right now it's hard to deny there's one single solitary timeline. But the possibility of a multiverse, kinda so. I hope that makes sense. Anyways, that's my reaction to this. The link to the video will be down below. I definitely got to check out Beer Biceps. I need to send him an email. I think I have, but I don't think I got a reply back. I don't remember. I sent out a few emails. I'm just waiting for replies. But anyways, that's my reaction to this. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.